Welcome to the Cemetery Gates podcast, featuring Xander Kane and Android Virus.
I was saying about what we ate for dinner, some Alfredo sauce and some chicken parmesan. She said she didn't enjoy cum sauce. So I said, so you enjoy the taste of cum over Alfredo? And she said, yeah, I do. And she goes, and it depends on what the cow's eating. And I said, so if the cow's diet is like fucking crack and fucking cigarettes and beer, like, wonder how that cum tastes. I don't wonder, but I'm just saying.
Yeah,
You know.
He heard it. He wondered.
Vicariously through Mona. It tastes like a dirty ashtray, Mona, with some fucking spoiled milk in it. Like,
No.
Yeah.
all right. Just had a shot of Jameson, so I'm good to go, you guys.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, I'm the only sober one. So.
I know.
Oh,
Yes.
it's okay.
It's all right. So, welcome back to the Cemetery Gates podcast, 31 Days of Halloween edition, version 4.3. That's right. This is our fourth year doing this, and the third episode of this year. And
woo!
We dragged Mr. Xander Kane out of the fucking gutter to do
Pretty
this
much.
one.
Yeah.
He's wasted. Or not. Maybe he slept before this. I don't know. He said he might be wasted.
He doesn't know.
He might have had a couple of fried eggs and a fucking half-hour nap to fucking revive himself, but he's still here.
I, in fact, did not have any eggs.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we are going to talk about our next batch of movies in this podcast, number 17 through 24. And, we always kind of hit this roadblock at least for me. I'm not saying that we didn't come on how would I explain it? A doozy, Dave, Xander, how we do,
Yeah.
we kind of come on a little bit of a rut. But I gotta say, this batch was a little bit of a rut for me. But
they were long. I was telling Mona, they were just fucking
sad.
long.
But we
So
got
long.
some stinkers.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't pick any singers.
Oh, yeah, I know I did. I've been the stinker guy this month. I'll admit it. It's okay.
Expected if you watched Android Vision.
Yes, I picked some stinkers. By the way, Mona, you were privileged to join an Android Vision taping for your pleasure last Saturday, and did you have a wonderful time?
I had a great time. It was great. It was wonderful.
It's
VIP.
It's more of like an event. It's like a party, isn't it? It's like getting together, isn't it?
With like all these cool characters. It was great.
And then we eat good food and we drink.
Yeah. I had a lot of good food.
Mona's like, I ate.
Yes.
She's like, feed the werewolf.
Yes.
Mr. Xander Kane, we had some garlic potatoes.
I'm here for it.
And we had some ribeyes on the grill.
Well, just like they say in The Vampire Happening, you can never have too much garlic.
This is true. Whew! Let's get into our movies, guys. Let's get into these movies. So again, number 17 through 24 in our 31 Days of Halloween. And Mr. Xander Kane's first pick was 2010's.
Oh yeah, 2010.
Was it Outcast?
That is correct.
That is right. So yeah. So let's get into this. 2010's Outcast.
Just when I had given up on thinking that I would find a decent witch movie. Along came this movie.
That's right. I'm gonna help Mr. Xander limp along this episode because he's
Yeah. Well, I get started here though.
Let's get started.
Yeah. So Outcast, like you said, is in 2010, and it is about there is like a beast stalking a town, like killing people, and it just is this like these new people move into the town. It's a mother and her son, who's probably, I don't know, late teens, early 20s. It's not really, he doesn't go to school or anything, so I guess he's out of school.
Because they're on the run.
Yeah. And it's like
So-
it's a British horror movie, but they're kind of like
No,
It's British and Irish, actually.
Oh,
no,
Irish.
they're Scottish.
Are they?
Well, it's a
Shit.
British-Irish production. So,
Oh, okay. Well, it's
Yeah.
it's in Scotland, but it seems like it's set kind of in the Scottish projects.
yes.
Yes.
It's in Edinburgh. This is where it takes place, technically. But anyways, they move to this town, and the mother's like super kind of paranoid. Is into all this witchy shit. So like they move into the place, and she writes rune symbols all over the apartment to kind of protect him. So obviously, something's going on. And it turns out we also meet these other hunters that are hunting. Come to find out, they're coming to hunt the boy, but you don't really know why at first. You just see these like, I don't know, it's like almost an Assassin's League or something of people.
Yeah, well, in the beginning, you see Santa Claus giving out runes for Christmas. It's not really Santa Claus, but
Close
He's like-
enough to Santa Claus.
tattooing those protection symbols on that guy.
Yeah, which it does.
One of the hunters.
Yeah, they look badass. So like he's tattooing this guy, I guess, to protect him as a hunter.
Yes.
As he's about to go get this beast. But of course, they move to this little town, and of course, a young girl that lives in the neighborhood that has she clearly is in a broken home. Her mother is kind of not there, and she has a special needs brother that she takes care of.
Was his name Hodor?
They kind of look like Hodor.
Or special Lou Ferrigno.
Frigno at what is it, 15? So, and she has obviously had like relationship issues too, because there's like some shitty kids in the neighborhood that's like their ex, and it's kind of a bullshit drama storyline. But she winds up falling for like the boy, and
It was a sexy mullet.
She wants to fuck him in the
Playhouse.
the ghetto playground.
It was his
Yeah.
mullet.
Yeah, so like the movie is just basically the hunters kind of closing in on the boy and the mother, and then you see some like deaths happening in the city. There's a really cool scene where a social worker comes looking for them, and she goes to that young girl's place looking for the boy and his mom, and she's like, I can't find the place, blah blah blah. Well, it turns out she can't find the place because the mother's like protected it somehow with black magic. I don't really know, but she can't find the place. So the lady's like wandering around the facility, and the mom like meets her in the courtyard, and they like have words, and she like fucking curses her right there and was like, you'll be lost, roam aimlessly for the rest of your life. You just won't know where you are. So she's like drops all the shit she was carrying, and she's just like wandering around this like complex, just completely lost, until ultimately she meets her demise by the beast, which is a very interesting looking beast. It has like a really thin waist and like broad shoulders, long arms, and kind of pumpkin head looking legs. Actually, it's just this wild looking beast.
I thought it was cool.
It was very
It's
cool.
like cheap, but it's
Yeah, there's some
unusualness made
Yeah,
up for
there's-
that.
Absolutely, there's definitely some like CG on like the face and stuff,
Yeah.
but like I mean, like it hands down like points for uniqueness to the creature, and they don't really dwell on it too long until the end. But you get some pretty gruesome little kills with this guy, and then ultimately the hunter eventually closes it on the house. and what else happens after? So he closes it on the house, and then, of course, you know, Mama Bear's got to protect her baby. There's a pretty big fight. She gets thrown through a fucking wall. Meanwhile,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, no, you're good. And then meanwhile, the girl that he kind of fall in love with is like trying to get him to run away together at that particular moment. So they're like planning on like running away. So she eventually meets up with him. They fucking like the playground. And then, oh no, guess what? Guess who the beast is? Da-da-da. The boy.
Well, the beast had a mullet too, so kind of gave it away.
Dead giveaway.
Dead giveaway.
And they're not using black magic. It's like magic from Celtic mythology.
Celtic, yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
Yeah. It's like a weird Celtic shit.
Yeah. But I'll just kind of stop it at there. So there's, he turns to werewolf, and then the hunter gets there, and then, they have the final act, which is actually pretty damn cool. That hunter guy, I think, was kind of badass when he was what I didn't catch is why he cut that piece of flesh off of him earlier in the movie.
I felt like it alluded to like a pound of flesh.
Okay, so I didn't know if the mom somehow was able to track him by that symbol and he knew it, because where they have like that weird naked Celtic magic battle when they're down
Yeah.
Like I didn't know if I missed that or not. I thought maybe she was able to kind of track and know that he was on the way because of that symbol, and then he cut it off. But I wasn't 100% sure.
She's all sweaty and hot.
Yeah, that she was.
How Mona?
Yeah, that was probably your favorite part.
But man, this movie, like, I loved how it looked. I liked that it was grim, just dreary. You could tell it was obviously in Scotland where it's raining and cloudy all the fucking time.
Gritty.
Yeah, it was. Like we said, the beast was unique. I was interested this entire movie. I didn't really ever get. It didn't ever really feel like a drug to me too much.
Yeah.
Just because I was just constantly intrigued. I'm like, what is going on? And I can see someone make the argument that it is a little slow, but for me, I thought it was paced pretty well. And I enjoyed the shit out of it. So, like, for me, I think I gave this like a 3.5 out of 5.
Oh, there you go. What about you, Miss Mona?
I don't know. It's hard to explain this movie without giving away any spoilers, but I'll try. I really liked it. At first, I was frustrated with it because of their heavy Scottish accents and all the slang. And there were no subtitles, no closed captioning, nothing to help me. But yeah, I liked all the magic they were using. Even necromancy, my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Which is basically just magic used to communicate with the dead. At no point did it feel like a fantasy movie with horror forced into it. Like, at no point did it make me feel like I was heading into Harry Potter land. And yeah, the beast, like I said, it was a very low budget monster, but the way it looked, I thought it was so fucking cool.
Right.
And yeah, it was good. Oh, and that guy, the hunter, he tricked me. I thought he was an idiot all along, but
No,
I was like, that fucker.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
we yeah, for sure.
So I gave it a 5.
Nice.
5.
Boom! 5 out of
Boom.
5.
Heck yeah.
Well,
Redemption.
I'm gonna come out of the gate and I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5. Really enjoyed this. A pleasant surprise. Bloody, gritty. It was a kind of a teen romance type of movie, but it was just something different, and I really enjoyed it. I can enjoy UK films when done correctly. Sometimes they bore the shit out of me, but for me, it had just enough horror elements in it, and I really liked the creature because I don't know what the fuck he is. He just looked like a big, hulking, I don't know what.
Yeah,
Something.
when you see him, you just kind of keep staring at you like, wow, that's interesting.
It's not a vampire.
No,
it's not
it's
a
not
werewolf.
Right,
Yeah.
it's an outcast. I mean,
Yeah, he's an
whatever the
outcast.
fuck it is. Yeah,
He's just a fucking ugly-looking creature guy.
yeah, and I
It
believe
was like
They just
The
call
Hulk with rabies.
And I think they only refer to it as the Beast in the movie. They don't say anything else,
The
right?
abomination.
Yeah, they just say the Beast. That's it. They don't. There's no other specific word other than that. So
Yeah. Well, there you go. Go check it out, guys. Outcast. Very good film.
yeah,
Very
it's on Shudder.
surprising.
You're
It's on
welcome.
Shudder. You're welcome. Now, who picked The Vampire Happening?
That's
Xander, of course.
All right, 1971 horror comedy, an hour 42 minutes. I'll never get back in my life. The Vampire Happening, Mr. Xander Kane Smith. Go ahead, sir.
Of course.
So this is from 1971. It is a vampire adult sex comedy.
Yeah, I don't think I have ever seen so many boobs in my life. The
And horny
jiggling,
preachers.
all that jiggling was making me feel seasick.
So the story is this super like popular American actress inherits this castle in Transylvania, and her ancestor was this baroness that was actually a vampire countess. And so she goes to this place and goes to this beautiful mansion, and she gets there, and there's like a weird like butler guy that's, I guess the groundskeeper and maintains the property, and he like takes her into the house, and he's explaining to her like her relative and all that. They go down in the dungeon, and like the actress starts having like visuals of all like the torture devices and like all the weird shit as he's describing, like, oh, this is where we lay them down on the table, and then of course she flashes to like a naked girl laying on the table being stretched from side to side, and the girl's just like kind of infatuated by the whole thing.
Yeah, she's like fantasizing, imagining.
Yeah, which I didn't know if it was in her head or if it was real, because like later in the movie you get fuck, what was I gonna say? I don't remember.
Oh, you're all wasted and shit. You get the countess who is waking up, kind of playing imposter, or kind of
Right,
playing.
yeah,
You know
there's
what I
like a
mean?
wig, like they'll switch wigs and shit, so you'll have the countess and then you'll have the actress.
And because they look exactly like they're painted by the same actress.
It's the
Yeah,
typical
but
like here's
you
the
could
painting on the
tell
wall.
by their nails. Their fucking nails. The vampire had black nails. The other girl had red. And those were some pretty damn good looking manicures.
They were, and I
I was
think
impressed.
was it the countess or was it the chick who was flashing her titties to the priest in the fucking courtyard?
That was the countess, which is hilarious.
Yeah, he's like, oh.
Yeah. So
like,
that scene is so
getting ready to
fucking
come
funny. Like I'm dead because this like so the countess has this priest out in the courtyard or whatever. And
That's what I
he's
do
like,
in
oh,
my apartments.
says, I don't see you. And it's like, oh, you see me. And then like everything is sexual to him outside. Like he sees a V in a tree with moss on it, and he's like zooming in on it like it's a vagina, and like everything is like, oh,
Going
insert
into
is
something.
stick going into a hole, and it's just so fucking stupid. It's all these like, sex jokes constantly. They're like a weird dream that the actress has about a party, and they're like eating Jello boobs. As a party favor. It's like, what, you don't like the taste of boobs or something?
Oh, to the gay flight attendant.
Oh yeah.
She didn't like him because he was gay.
Yeah.
What? You don't want to fuck me? You like to fuck ass? Get out of here. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so the whole thing just kind of is the countess trying to get everybody here to basically kill everybody. Slowly starts turning the preachers and like people in the movie into horny vampires. There's a bunch of silly like neck bites and sex scenes, and
There's a nice party at the end.
yeah, at the end it culminates into like this giant like weird ass sex vampire.
No
vampire
nice party. None of the men were attractive. They were all freaking goofy looking. Only the women.
Even Dracula himself reminded me of like just this corny grandpa, like Like he might as well have been Count Chocula, but just white with white hair.
Yeah.
I know.
Hey, and he was just wanting to fuck all kinds of young girls, and there's titties all over the party.
Yeah, but the American actress like has this dude that kind of falls for her, and like he's struggling back and forth on who's the countess and who's not her. And the butler guy is trying to convince him. He's like, "Oh no, this is the countess. You must kill her." He's like, "Oh no, I can't kill her. Blah blah blah. I love her." So it's all this silliness. I enjoy the first like I don't know
Half hour.
35 to 40 minutes. I enjoy the shit out of it. Like I think it's funny and ridiculous and just so off the wall. But then after that, like it just kind of gets I don't know monotonous and like. The last, I think it's like an hour and 40-minute movie, and I would say the last hour it just slowly loses steam as it goes on.
Exactly.
But I did enjoy the shit out of the first 40 minutes of it, 35, 40 minutes of it, or whatever it is. It's just so fucking weird. Like I didn't know this thing existed. I was like, what the fuck is this? But I still glad that I picked it. So
Yeah,
take that.
it's very, 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 very strange film. It's a very. Somebody asked me, "How was this?" And I said it was like a 1970s porno with no porn.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, for sure.
It reminded me of a National Lampoon horror movie from the 70s.
That's not unfair assessment, I would say.
It's like a movie that would be playing on Halloween in the background at a drunk guy's poker game.
Poker game. Look
Yeah,
at all
it
these
was.
tits. And with all that said, I still give it a 2 out of 5. I don't think it's awful. I think the first 30 minutes are worth watching.
You know what? That's kind of
I don't
funny.
know
You say
about
that.
30, maybe 20.
I gave it a 2 out of 5 as well. It's there's something endearing about it. I'm sorry, I'm a guy. I love the titties all over the movie. I thought the main girl was beautiful. I loved her breasts. So that really saved the movie. So automatically with all the breasts, it gets a 1 star. But then all the
There's some
vampires.
really funny, subtle jokes. Like,
There are.
God, what's the one thing that one guy gets? Like the priest goes to the window to look at the girls like changing clothes, the schoolgirls or whatever, and then the head mistress of the school like goes and like catches them fucking their boyfriends and goes to shut the windows. He's like, "Oh, we should throw that bitch off Norway or throw that bitch back to Norway or whatever the fuck he says."
So for me, for my money, it was pretty funny. First half hour kept me engaged, and then it just kind of fell off the rails. It I don't know. It's notorious. It's a notorious film. We'll say that. And take that with a grain of salt. If you're gonna love it, you're gonna hate it. I gave it a 2 out of 5. What about you, Mona?
See, I was surprised because the director made far better films like The Elephant Man, the original Tales from the Crypt. So I'm giving this a 1. There's no hot guys.
No.
Fuck this movie. Or unfuck this movie.
Unfuck this movie.
Unfuck this movie. The guys weren't very good looking, but the women were beautiful on this. We'll give it that. All right, guys. Let's go on to our number 19 of this month. And this was kind of like a last minute pick because we couldn't. I know Mr. Xander watched this movie already. Mona and I had to go to Mr. Xander's Letterboxd because we couldn't find the movie that he watched, which is cool. It happens with doing a show like this.
Yeah, it was for those wondering, it was Night Watch, and I watched it, and my short review is 2.5 out of 5. It's very Matrixy. It's very dated. I bet I would have liked it more if I saw it back in the day. But that's not the movie we're talking about.
No, we are talking about. We went to your Letterboxd, Xander _Kane, or is it just Xander Kane? But there is someone inside of your house. That's right. There's someone inside of your house. And this is a Netflix film from 2021. Yeah, fairly new. So I went ahead and said, look, I'm going to go ahead and pick this one. This is a 2021 horror slasher film, Netflix exclusive. And it's basically about a young girl who moves into her grandmother's house to go live with her grandmother, and she must, kind of confront her past, but it starts out kind of, it's like Screamish. I'm just gonna come out and say it. Like,
Yeah,
instead
sure.
of the young Drew Barrymore being killed in the beginning, we got a young blonde jock dude who's kind of killed in the beginning, and while he's
Gets his
killed,
Achilles or his heel
yeah,
smashed, right? Oof.
the
That's
double
brutal.
Achilles slash.
Oof.
That always gets me.
Yeah, the double
Yeah.
Achilles slash in his parents' walk-in closet in a fucking well-to-do farmhouse in the middle of nowhere, and he is also drawn to that place in his house because of a bunch of pictures that are taken of him bullying and beating up a kid on his football team with a bunch of other kids. So you kind of start that going forward, and then you kind of get. So it's like a modern day teen film. So it's peppering in what's modern today, right? So you're going to get the tropes about trans. And everybody is, I don't know, like, I'm going to try to tread really thin here because I don't want to get political. But, I just felt like there was a lot of wokeism in this movie, and not that it's a bad thing. Take that for what you want to do. But I just don't know if that really helped add to the story. I think it did in some points, but you have a group of friends who are kind of the outcasts, and they're all, mixed races, trans, you name it, and which isn't bad, but like they're kind of like the outcasts, right? And then the cool kids are like these, kind of white jockey kids and but then they're trying to accept, but overtly accept, the other kids, and get another pretty cool kill in it of this girl who's like, hey, we accept you. Yay, me for class president, and so you get a nice, pretty cool kill there in a church, which is really cool. So
She was racist.
she was racist. Yeah, she was racist. So
Like white power racist.
yeah, she was a white power racist chick, so she gets it. And then it just kind of goes on with the story of a whodunit, right? The main girl in it, she's a mixed race, half Hawaiian, half Native American, half African American. She's
dating the outcast, another outcast. But
another
weirdo.
outcast. Yeah, the weirdo. He's a sociopath. Kind of
he's
a
got to
white,
be the killer.
a
That
white
was
kid.
the big word in this movie. He's a sociopath. You're a sociopath. I was like, I don't think that word means what you think it means.
Yeah, and they pick on it at the end, but like it's very Screamish. She's having the main girl, the final girl, because it is a slasher movie and you got to have the final girl. It has all those tropes. She's having flashbacks and she's kind of getting stalked, and the killer who's stalking everybody is 3D printing everybody's faces,
which is
so
pretty cool. I like that a lot, actually.
I did like that element.
Yeah, because
so
like, what? I'm coming to kill me? What the fuck?
yeah, like what the fuck.
I just thought, wow, how did he get those masks? It must have taken a long time to make those.
Well,
Yeah.
it is funny at the end. Like, you know how fucking hard it is to make these goddamn masks.
Yeah,
I know. I was like, I hear you.
and I thought the funny part was like his dad, like the one of the characters, he's an outcast hanging out with the other kids. His dad's like trying to take over the town through buying businesses and shit like that, and he has this huge party at his house, and he's like, oh, not only is my dad trying to do this and this and this, and it's just like these fucking affluent teens everywhere, and it don't matter if they're fucking black, white, fucking trans, it didn't matter, Hispanic, it didn't matter. They were all affluent teens. Come on, let's just fucking be real here. But he's like, hey, look at not only is my dad trying to take over the town, he's got the biggest collection of Nazi memorabilia on this side of the fucking Mississippi, or something stupid like that. He's all, and fuck him because I made all of his shit into fucking pipes. So like, there's a kind of a funny scene there where like all these kids are like putting on these like Nazi fucking like masks and they're
Gas
putting,
masks.
gas masks
Yeah.
and blowhorns, and they're all smoking weed out of them. It was like,
Partying in Nazi gear.
yeah, it was kind of funny in a weird sense. I kind of saw where they were going with that, so I appreciated that part of it. But just kids are getting picked off one by one. People are getting picked off one by one. Don't want to give any spoilers on this movie. We find out who the killer is at the end. And it's violent. The writing was kind of smart. It was somewhat of an original story.
Yeah, at times, like I was saying, even putting up. I thought the putting all like the pipes, and stuff and all the Nazi shit was like just funny. Like this stuff is fucking bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Like this sounds like we should, it was almost like a nod to like fuck all these things, turn it on the pipes. You know what I mean? They don't mean shit, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, and it's very screamish. I kind of foresee the director, and I went straight to Netflix. It's an updated slasher film for 2021. So I understand it's got to be topical. I understand it's all of that shit. I'm not busting its balls for that. It's okay. It didn't. It's very middle of the road for me. It's a slick production, big production. The acting was decent. I knew where it was going the whole time. I guess the killer in the fucking probably the first act.
Me too.
I was
like, that's who it is.
Yeah, exactly. So it didn't really fuck with me with that. The kills were decent, and again, great gore. But and some of the soundtrack was okay, but it's a teen movie. But for just think 2021 fucking slasher movie. If it was in the theaters, I mean, that would be cool. But kind of in our day and age, she's like, no. In our day and age, everything's going streaming. So I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. It's very middle of the road for me, and that's because, again, I like the gore. I thought some of the shit was pretty funny, but it's definitely not going to knock it over a 2.5 for me. So go ahead, Mona. What do you think?
Like I was telling you before, I know it's modern, it's for teens, but this movie made me want to give up on newer slasher flicks. Mm-hmm. Maybe because I'm old, I don't know. And it did remind me of Scream, and they even reference I Know What You Did Last Summer. And I don't like those movies. I didn't like them then, I don't like them now. So I'm gonna give it a 1.5. The 1 because I just kept watching to see who it was. So, yeah. All
right, cool. And what about you, Mr. Xander Kane?
I'm closer to your vote. I'm at 2.5, barely at 2.5. So I think about this movie and I'm like, well, if I was, a younger kid, I don't know, say if I was 15, 16 years old, and this was one of the first slasher films I saw, I would think that it would probably be more impressionable on me if I was that age. Like Mona said, it was definitely made by someone that loved those 90s horror movies.
Not me. I must have been demented when I was a teen.
So it just seems like that's, that was something, somebody grew up on 90s slashers and they made a film that was more like a 90s slasher. But it's definitely missing a lot for me. It's just, I don't know. There's multiple things I can't really put my finger on that I just didn't. I was like, meh, this is okay. It was an effort, and I'm sure some people will love it, but it is average in pretty much every category across the board. So I did like the main lead girl. I thought she did good. But the killer I did not care for. It's probably because I thought I knew who it was from the beginning, so that kind of takes the wind out of the sails there. But yeah, just okay.
Yeah, all the bad guys were white in this movie, and all the good guys were not. That's what I got out of it.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, guys, up to my next pick. Kind of just I picked a vampire film from 2019 called Bit, and this one you can watch forever, but it's a vampire movie. and I'm just gonna come out and say it. It's and not in a bad way. It's a queer horror movie, so you guys know what you're getting into when you watch it. So
An LGBTQ teen
LGBTQ
vampire movie.
teen vampire movie. And it kind of starts out with this vampire woman who takes her human boyfriend to her house, and she explains to him how vampires operate, and she wants to start a new life with him, and she turns him into a vampire. But then they're attacked by the woman's by her all-female coven of vampires, and they're led by this like the head vampire of their group named Duke, and she kills the guy right in front of her and saying they will not take men, and then she locks the woman away for punishment, and then like I didn't snap to this at the beginning until like a little bit later, but the girl that she lives in Los Angeles, and she lives with her brother. She's just graduating high school, and she's looking to make a new start. And her brother kind of have a strained relationship a little bit, but they are close. I didn't know that the chick in it, because I wanted to read a little bit more about the movie. Maybe I just missed it. Although it is played by Nicole Maines, but in the movie she's trans.
I think that's a plot hole because they didn't explain that. I was like, you're just supposed to know.
You're just supposed to think it that she's trans. So after transitioning, she moves in with her brother, who obviously they kind of have a weird strained relationship. And she goes for a night. She goes for a night out, and she ends up like going to a club, and then she meets another chick, and they hook up, and the chick can't fucking like help herself, but she bites her. And so the main vampire chick, Duke, is like, I like her. I see something in her. If she can fucking survive the night with the bite, we're gonna fucking welcome her in. And they throw off a building into a dumpster. She sleeps in a dumpster all night, and she wakes up, and she's kind of slowly transitioning into a vampire. But the whole time there's this weird backstory where the vampire coven likes to kill men just to eat them, but they have this real rule that they will not transition men into vampires because men are inherently evil, and
they're cruel.
They're cruel, and they're this and they're that, and they're this and they're that. But whatever the case may be,
no, whatever, that's important.
Yeah, they're cruel, but they don't like them. But I did like one part of it. She says that she uses her gang to empower women, and men are forbidden, and they should hunt men, and they lure men who are like trolls online, different things like that. So it's a little topical, but they do get kind of lured in, but like encircled by some vampire hunters, but they end up fucking those guys up. And she ends up like kind of saving them, Laurel, the girl, because she doesn't know if she wants to be a vampire, but she's kind of
here we are.
And then Duke like takes a really huge interest in Laurel, and she kind of tells her about her past, about she's from the 70s, she was a prostitute, and then she was not attracted to men because she's gay as well, but she was attracted to the fucking master, the main vampire. Like, she's like, I don't know, I'm not attracted to men, but shit, I'm attracted to this.
Finally, like,
yeah,
a movie that touched on the subject of why I hate horny vampires.
Yeah,
the mind control.
Yeah, they're like, we do not glamour vampires, but but it turns out like Duke's story kind of goes around, and she's kind of doesn't kill the guy who turned her into a vampire, but she kind of takes revenge on him and burns him and keeps his heart, and takes little slivers at a time and eats it. But like, yeah, but she was one of his brides from the 70s and through the 80s. And then you kind of go through the story where the chick finds, being conflicted about being a vampire, becomes distant from her family, like alienating them. So you kind of have that weird little backstory. and her brother pisses her off so bad she accidentally bites him. So then you go, dun dun dun. Here's like a huge plot twist. Can't welcome men into the fucking thing, but yet she fucking drove. But here's the weird thing. Never mind. I'm not going to get into it. If Laurel was biologically male, isn't she still a male?
No.
See, that's the fucking thing.
Her brain is male, but biologically she's female.
See, that's the thing. It makes you think, right?
Well, the mind is cruel, not her genitalia. So,
Did she have a Dika though?
well, still, that doesn't make a difference. It's in your
Does
mind,
she?
your brain.
But testosterone helps her drip cum.
No, it doesn't.
So if she gets hard,
Do your research.
if she gets hard and pre-cum comes out, isn't that everything to do with testosterone?
If they like switched your brain and put your brain into a woman's body, would you just like, okay, I'm a woman now. I'm just gonna accept it. I like men. Could you do that?
No.
That's kind of how that is. You have to see it that way.
Yeah, I would have to do. But I digress. I'm not going to get into this conversation. But as the story goes,
Xander fell asleep.
As the story goes, Duke. It just all kind of turns ass backwards on everybody, and the master comes back, and I'm not going to give away the end, but like, it's kind of like the Lost Boys for a new generation.
Buffy.
It's Buffy, but then like it's not. I don't know. It didn't bug me. It was okay. I didn't mind it. I actually turned around. I looked at the rating I originally gave it, and I gave it a 3 out of 5. I didn't mind it. The atmosphere was cool. I thought it was somewhat an original vampire story, which I really cared for. I like original vampire stories. I didn't hate it at all. I thought the budget, and some of the ending, it just kind of wrapped up too quick for me. There was it just kind of bowed it up a little bit too nice. I think that there could have been a little bit more in the script, but I gave it a 3 out of 5. I didn't hate it. I did not hate it at all. An original vampire film, but check it out. You guys might like it. So go ahead, Mr. Xander. What'd you think?
This was in the middle of the road for me. I gave it 2.5 out of 5. It was just okay. It definitely gave off like Buffy vibes for sure. Like that was like the first thing I thought of when she's like at the pool hall being all badass. It's like, uh-oh. And like, oh wait, she's a vampire, because you don't really know what she is at first. The first time we see her, so I assumed that she was a hunter, but obviously she's one of the coven. But yeah, it was different. I thought the budget was actually, for the most part, used pretty well. But you can definitely tell it's low budget. But hey, as far as low budget vampire flicks go, it was definitely a watchable flick.
Yeah. And what about you, Miss Mona?
Well, I obviously liked it more than both of you. I gave it a 4. Like I said, I enjoyed it because it touches on the subject of why I hate sexual vampires. How they always creep me out or made me feel uncomfortable. They take over your mind and turn you into one of their slaves. Ew.
Try to suck your dick.
It's pretty much rape.
Vampires are rapey.
Yeah, I didn't know the actress was trans. I thought she was just a bored, depressed lesbian.
I didn't know that either. I didn't even pick up on that at all.
Yeah.
It's, I guess, more from a women's point of view. Like, if it was a male movie, like, usually, like, vampires use their powers for sex and seduction. These ones are taking out killers, rapists, pedos. I like how this movie isn't sexualized. Like, the intimacy feels authentic and normalized. It's not lesbian sexuality meant for male consumption. Like Vampire Happening. No unnecessary shots that linger on a woman's body too long. And then, like, the vampire girl gang, I got it. That's just, like, in their nature with women. Safety in numbers.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah, it
I
definitely
really
sounded
liked
like
it.
they were protecting each other from bad male douchey vampires.
So yeah,
So
that's why I liked it, enjoyed it.
fair
So
point.
yeah,
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I didn't hate it either.
Yeah, there was some other people in my letterbox that loved it that gave it 4.5s and 5s. So like it's a pretty well liked. I mean, I think I was the lowest rating out of everybody that I know on Letterboxd that saw it. So
you know, for me, dude, like the thing about it is, and I feel like I feel like the expectation is for you to supposed to like it because it's like you're kind of saying, well, if you like a movie that's LGBTQ plus, you're more of an ally, right? Like, and I think like for me, like it's okay to not like something that's just that for that. You know what I mean? It's okay. Like you're not any less of an ally to somebody. You're not like, believing in any type of cause or anything because a movie that has huge tones of that going on is just okay. It's okay, just not it's an okay film. It's not just because it's this film of, again, huge LGBTQ plus movie that you have to like it. Like, oh, I gotta like this film. You don't have to like it. It's not a big deal. I
I
didn't
don't
like it. I didn't
know. I
like it.
didn't really pay attention to that part.
Yeah,
It didn't really make
neither
me
did
feel that
I.
way.
Yeah, neither did I. And I feel like, because I'm kind of like, again, I probably shouldn't be looking at this stuff, but like looking at Twitter, be like, oh my God, you gotta like this movie. It's all the this, and I'm just like, it was okay. It was all right. That original, yeah, but suffered from some budgetary shit, and the writing was a little bit funky for me. It just kind of fell off the rails a little bit. Got a little bit lazy in the writing, I feel like. And I feel like they could have picked a better lead vampire. That guy was kind of cornish.
It was funny, and it was
it was
great,
like
and
it felt like a
the
drunk Jerry
disco
O'Connell.
music.
Yeah.
It was perfect. I was like, ugh. Like I was like, if that guy seduced me and I was forced to like pleasure him, ugh.
Ew.
Yeah. All right, guys,
No.
let's go to our next movie, number 20, Mona of the Month. We're gonna get into Mona's two picks here. 20,
Hey, Apostle.
2018's Apostle.
Dope.
Have at it, Mona.
Let's see. It's director Gareth Evans, who's
Yeah.
Welsh. He wrote VHS 2. What else? Do you know?
Gareth? He's done a bajillion things
Yeah.
at this point. I'd have to look it up.
It
Yeah,
stars.
he wrote The Raid, Redemption.
Oh, that's it. The Raid.
2.
That's where he got his big famous was the Raid.
Yeah.
I have not seen that. I am not cool.
The Raid
Yeah.
is awesome.
It's fucking amazing.
It stars hot, sexy Dan Stevens, who was Matthew Crawley in Downton Abbey. Yes, I watched that.
I don't even know what that is. First time I've heard of it.
He was the Beast in 2017's Beauty and the Beast. He was
There was a
funny.
2017 Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, with the
Damn.
girl from Harry Potter.
Oh.
I just
Sure.
watched it because he's in it. He was funny in Eurovision with Will Ferrell. Hot in everything, even
Oh.
as a Loudnum. I hope I pronounced it right. Addicted ex-missionary turned drifter, and Loudnum's pretty much just like morphine opiate tincture.
Yeah. He was on something.
So he's a drifter named Thomas who returns home only to learn that his sister has been kidnapped and held for ransom by a religious cult on some faraway island way overseas. So he travels with that cult posing as a convert, planning on trying to get her back.
Yeah, it's like,
So-
was it his sister or was it his?
It was his sister.
Yeah, it was
Sister.
his sister.
And yeah, I thought it was great. It was better than most direct-to-streaming content. I would have loved to see this in the theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been awesome.
I thought it had an engaging storyline with engaging characters and enough false prophets to fill a cathedral, since you guys know how I feel about religion.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. There were all kinds of fucked up scenes. You couldn't tell saw where it was going. Pretty gory, horrifying. There were lots of what the fuck scenes, like what is happening? I can't believe this is happening. What the fuck is that?
Yeah. There's a whole lot of right at the end of a scene before they cut to another scene. You'll see something in the background. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah,
Yes.
some scenes even had like odd comical scenes, like him kicking the fence and running off.
Yeah, it's like because you got to think the movie takes place in 2005, and it's essentially
1905.
Yeah, 1905. Goddamn, 1905. Yeah, not 2005. Not 2005. I take that back. So it's a period piece.
Wow,
And
things have changed in a
yeah,
short
he's
period of time.
infiltrating this weird cult that wants to live free from the persecution of the king or whatever of England, and they're just on this weird island, and it's kind of Jim Jonesy over there. You know what I mean? It really is, and you know, you never have to work for you'll have to work for your keep, and you have to do this and you have to do that, but nobody's above anybody. But as slowly do you learn, though, there are people above people in that fucking island. It's very apparent really quick. You know, they got their own little police force. They got the fucking dudes involved, you know, so there is a hierarchy there, even though they say there isn't. And, you know, they have their own little Bible that they wrote, and all he's there to do is fucking get his sister back because, as you find out, she's kidnapped from these fucking guys because their land is starting to die and they need money to fucking sustain. So they can kidnap this fucking rich dude's fucking daughter. But they send the brother out there, and he's a fucking trip because he's all fucking cocky-eyed and weird and on that tincture shit that was Mona was saying.
But he's so hot.
Yeah, well, you know, hey. And he starts kind of doing his little investigation, going out at night. Because they're like, ding, 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 ding. Time for bed. Everybody go to their cabins. You know, it's like...
Yeah.
He's like, fuck that shit.
Yeah, I love how this movie, as it goes on, it continually shows how much further these people will go and what they believe.
Yes.
Like it gets more and more intense. Ultimately, I don't want to ruin this for people that haven't seen it because I think it's a fucking spectacular scene in the film. But one person goes incredibly far, and it is honestly just also incredibly heartbreaking.
I don't know if that's what he believes. I think he's just a fucking asshole.
I hated him.
It was just like, like when the scene starts to play out, you're like, oh fucking no, he's not gonna. Nope. Oh fuck, he did it. God damn it. Like that was a really fucking. I mean, that's kind of a ballsy scene to make, anyways. But I thought it was handled so fucking.
And then he ups
good.
the ante.
Yes.
And I'm like, this fucking dick, are you serious? Like, he can't even. And then again, we're gonna this movie for everybody listening. I think we're all being very careful here. I wanted to give the premise, but not to give any spoilers because this thing really goes off the rails. But there is one scene, and I'm not gonna give away who it was or what happened, but like it's an execution scene, right?
Yes.
And with vices involved, like
that's what the fuck is that scene?
And I'm like, and then just the camera angle of when you're seeing it from the person's perspective, like with the fucking like the skull finally pops, and you just see like the red veins or the red like on the camera. It's just like of the eye that kind of, you know what I mean, like what your eyeball would see, like the blood in your eye, you know. And it's like, wow. I don't want to give too much away about this movie. I don't even want to really talk about this movie anymore because it's a must fucking see. I would watch this motherfucker again. I recommended this.
I feel like there's more stuff that I probably missed, honestly, but I was like, man, I need to. Yeah.
Recommended this to a buddy I work with, and Old Man Harper is on Instagram. He comes into work this morning. He's like, dude. I was like, what? I started watching that fucker at fucking 10:30 last night. Didn't go to bed till like 1 o'clock. I was like,
it's 2 hours and 10 minutes long.
Yeah, I was like, I was like, you serious, bro? Why'd you watch it that fucking late, dude? I started watching like at 6. I knew that fucker was like intense film. So goddamn good.
He stayed up for it, so obviously
did.
it was good, right?
Might be Apostle 2018. Fucking, and I ain't fucking around here because I'm not. I don't willy-nilly throw out fucking 5 out of 5s, but this one, a massive 5 out of 5. If I could give it 5.5, maybe one of my favorite movies we watched this month, guys. Simply amazing. Loved it.
Yeah. I don't really need to add to that. It's 5 out of 5 for me. I think it's fucking great. It's there's so many little things, and yes, it is 2 hours and 10 minutes long, but honestly, it did not feel that long to me. It did not, because like I said, the pacing on how they prove over and over, like how far these people are going to go on what they believe, and how far he's willing to go to save us, to find his sister. So it's like, it's just good shit. Well written.
There you go. You, Mona, 5 out of 5?
Yes, of course. It's like one of my favorites now.
Fuck yeah. I'm glad. See, this is what I love, Mr. Xander. We could turn people onto new movies and you know, people who could say, I'm bored with horror. They don't play nothing good no more. And it's like, nope. You just got to be in the fucking the community and be willing to fucking take a chance and watch shit. That's all you got to do. All right. Very good pick, Miss Mona. Thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah.
Very pleasant fucking surprise. And we're going to go on to Mona's next pick, 2020's The Reckogning.
Oh no, The Reckogning. Was it directed by Neil Marshall?
Marshall, yeah.
And I was surprised because I did not like this movie, and he did Doomsday, which I love, and Dog Soldiers, and Tales of Halloween, and the Westworld shows, and
yeah, he's done a ton of awesome shit.
So yeah, what was it about? It was about a woman whose husband died.
Yeah.
And I'm sober. Isn't that sad? Let's see. After losing her husband during the Great Plague, this woman is unjustly accused of being a witch, of course, and placed in the custody of England's most ruthless witch hunter, Judge Moorcroft, forced to endure physical and emotional torture while steadfastly maintaining her innocence. See, Grace must face her own inner demons as the devil himself starts to work his way into her mind. So that's what I'm reading what it's about.
That's what it's about.
And it starts off like any other witch hunter movie with a woman being torn away from her family and
for her daughter
at the stake, and
being fucking accused of being a witch when she's not.
Yeah, and I guess that was the woman, the main character's flashback of her mom.
Yeah, her mom was crucified and burned in a prosecution or whatever. Yeah. So that's why they think, because her husband died like kind of mysteriously, like they find a rope, so they think that she hung him, but that's not the case. So that's why they're so like pushing so hard on her, because they're like 1,000% convinced that she did it, but. It is, there's a lot of really great imagery, though, at times. Like, there's a scene where, like, the devil comes and, like, wraps around her, which is, like, fucking cool. And a few other weird scenes. But, man, this one was kind of slow and, like, waiting for things to happen all the time.
Yeah, like, that director does action movies, and I was surprised because this movie had none. It felt like I was having 2 hours of my life sucked out of me by a blank wall.
Yeah. Well, I think he's really trying to play up like the, I think he was trying to get everyone to get like emotionally involved with the lead character, like really playing up like he really wanted to feel for her, and like, you know, like she's so resilient that she just fucking refuses to be accused of this no matter the fucking cost. And they put her through some shit. And she does not, like, balk. She's, you know, what does she say? She's like, my will is stronger than yours. And you're like, God damn. And then they basically hung her upside down and shoved the thing up her hoo-ha and woo! Rip her in half, basically.
Yeah.
And she's like, nope, didn't confess. And I liked the guy that played the witch fighter. Was that Sean Pufius, the guy that was Alfred in Gotham?
You got to admit, and I'm not saying this, but it definitely was an homage to Jack Nicholson. Not Jack Nicholson, sorry. What did we watch earlier this month?
Vincent Price.
Vincent
Witchfinder
Price.
General, yeah.
I felt like it was an
that's what
homage
I
to that.
noticed.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
an homage to that.
Even tried to sound Vincent Pricey.
But that's just the way he sounds.
No, I didn't think he sounded like that in Gotham.
No, that's his actual voice. That's how he talks normally. He's got a really thick accent.
Well, no, it's just the way kind of he was more nasally than usual.
Oh, fair.
So
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, it definitely was. Yeah, I expected more out of Neil Marshall. Honestly, like you said, he does action movies, and it was kind of like this one was I actually had to. I fell asleep the first time I watched it, and I had to go back and finish it. So
Yeah, it's slow. It really she's has to deal with a shitty landlord basically who tries to use her for sex, and he's an asshole, and she's like, hey, I ain't gonna fuck you, I'll earn my keep the normal way, you know. And he's like tries to make her feel bad about it, like, how dare you, I don't ever fucking swing my dick around for just anybody, how dare you fucking turn my dick down, you know. That's pretty much what it boiled down to. She's like, fuck you. She's got a little baby, they accuse her of being a witch, and you find out that the landlord at the beginning fucking got her husband sick on purpose by switching his beer mug with another guy who was sick. So it's like her husband got the Black Death or whatever it was, and he ends up committing suicide. But she's having visions of her husband coming back. There's a couple of really cool spooky scenes in it, like atmospheric scenes. The one where she had to kind of dig her husband up to get his wedding ring to pay for her rent.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty decent. There were some pretty decent visual scenes as far as when she's kind of descending into madness in the jail cell of her being embraced by the devil. And there's some really I'm not saying this in a bad way, but there's some really decent sex scenes in there that were effective. There's some scenes where she's embraced by the devil.
That's really cool. That's my favorite. It's one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, that would be really, yeah, that was really cool.
That was too cheesy for me.
I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. I just kind of like for me, and I don't say this lightly, and I'm not saying it to dog on anything, but for a period piece movie, it just was too modern.
Oh yeah, her makeup, her perfect.
Yeah, her
makeup.
Perfect makeup. She was beautiful. Her perfect teeth. Everybody was perfect in it for the most part. Just the way they looked. It just kind of came off really cheesy for a period. It came off very Yui Bullish. You know what I mean? For me, this one did.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it was overly sexualized. I mean, there was definitely a lot of love scenes and making. I don't know. It was okay. I mean, it's just kind of corny. It really was. I think if you're gonna turn around and you're gonna use at the beginning based on a true story, and then at the end you're gonna close it with over 50,000 women or 500,000 women between these 2 centuries are persecuted for being witches, and they were murdered and they weren't, and this was the last girl known to man to be being burnt alive. It's okay, so do that story justice. Don't use this. Do you know what I mean? I just don't feel that they did any of those people justice by making a kind of a corny, half-assed fucking action film that had really beautiful people in it that didn't belong in it.
It was really bland.
Yeah, you could have Charlize Theron that shit up, bro, and fucking made her teeth all fucked up like they really were back then. She was this beautiful model chick, but hey, she went on to marry the director, so what can you say? He's fucking
heavy modern makeup.
Yeah, he's 50 years old and she's 25. What can you say? And she got 2 studio executives fired from NBC Universal, but which is their fault for their own for trying to fucking sext and text and have affair with a young 19-year-old actress. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you know that story about her, but yeah, and she went on. She's with the director now. But hey, you know what? Love knows no age unless you're under the age of 18. Then get the fuck out of here. But anyways, I just, it was very middle of the road for me, very bland, really fucking. I actually gave it a 2.
Yeah.
So,
1.
all right, Mr. Xander.
I actually gave it 2.5. I didn't dislike it as much as y'all, but still, just nothing. I wanted so much more because it was Neil Marshall.
He's hypnotized by boobs and Satan.
Yeah. Did you see Satan's dick? Jesus.
No, I missed it.
Yeah. The old Satan's old dick. It curves. It's curved, Mona. It curves down.
For her pleasure. For everyone's pleasure.
For my pleasure, for your pleasure, for everybody's pleasure. All right, guys. On to the next pick. I apologize, but I don't. 1996 Werewolf. I'm sorry that if you had to watch this on the MST3K tip, but then again, I don't, because I like MST3K. Some of you guys
do.
some of you don't. But I know Mr. Xander
apparently don't.
Yes. Did you watch this on its own?
I could not find it anywhere on its own.
So, okay.
Like,
all
it's
right.
not even anywhere.
So I'll try to do my best with this review without MST3King it up. But anyways, Werewolf, also known as Arizona Werewolf, is a 96 horror movie. It's direct to video. It stars Jorge Rivero, who is a he's huge in Mexico, by the way, guys. I don't know if you know that. And he's also best known for his role in Conquest, Lucio Fulci's Conquest. Richard Lynch. Yeah, that's right, man. Richard Lynch, who's in everything, and kind of he looked like Martin Sheen's retarded brother, because he is. Joe Estevez. He's in it. Yeah. So,
excuse me, I sneezed.
God bless you. So basically, it kind of starts off with these archaeologists working in the desert in Arizona, and they find a skeleton which appears to be a werewolf, and the foreman helping them dig it out, the fellow archaeologist Jorge Rivera, he gets into a fight with this crew because like they're fucking it up. Everybody's really hot under the collar at the beginning, and I don't know why.
It's the desert. It's hot. What do you mean you don't know why?
They all fight. And one of the workers gets scratched by the werewolf, and Jose Estevez and the other guys are like, hey, we better take him to the hospital, and then I don't know, the main archaeologist kind of tries to tell him about a werewolf, Yettaglanchi. That's how he says it. You know about the Yettaglanchi? Yeah, he sleeps nose to anus. But it's not a skinwalker. It's a werewolf. But fucking Richard Lynch, I love the guy, dude. He's fucking amazing and everything. But anyways, yeah, the guy who got scratched by the Yettaglanchi skeleton, kind of turns into a wolf himself in the hospital. He's growing cheek hair in the bed, and he escapes and kills some people. That was pretty funny. And then but Yuri, the main guy, kind of like helps him transform a little bit. So he's kind of like this weird mad scientist running around the movie. And then they kill, but his fellow workers kill him eventually with silver bullets. And then that story kind of ends a little bit, but then like it kind of shifts to like Flagstaff, Arizona, where like there's this like Italian writer dude that shows up, and he's kind of talking to some of the archaeologists, especially the hot one there, the redhead, and they take romantic interest in each other, and Yuri, the guy from the asshole, because they're all at this fucking party where they're talking about their archaeology, he kind of sexually harasses the chick, the one who's interested in the writer that showed up, and then he wants to create a new werewolf, and he gets a security guard drunk, and he shoots him up with some werewolf DNA, and the security guard takes off, and he's driving his car. and he turns into a
Poor
werewolf.
security guard. All telling the story of his poor mama.
Yeah, he's all driving the car. Hey, just it was really fucking funny, but he dies in a car accident, and then the next day the writer and the chick Natalie are hanging out, and they're in the lab, and Yuri again starting his shit, fucking hits the fucking writer Paul with the werewolf skull, and then he immediately shows signs of the lycanthropy and starts to kind of turn, and it just kind of goes down that path, and Paul transforms into a fucking werewolf. He's in the streets.
A werewolf, like
A
everyone was
werewolf.
saying it.
A werewolf.
Awful
Yeah.
accents. It's
Yeah.
a werewolf.
Freak in the sheets and wolf in the streets.
That's right. And yeah, so Yuri, and he wants to capture Paul and put him in a freak show, take him on the road. And this really pisses Natalie off. And Yuri kind of tries to follow Paul into the desert, but Yuri gets killed by Paul the werewolf, and then Natalie arrives, and there's a twist ending where Paul and Natalie kind of take hands and they slowly turn, and Natalie is a werewolf herself as well.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And it's over, and Natalie, she was pulling the strings all along. She just wanted to see who was going to be the alpha for that fucking werewolf pussy. So,
She was.
yes, she was. So, all right, super cheesy fucking movie. Cheesy enough to be on Mystery Science Theater 3000. I thought it helped make the movie. The way they made fun of it, there's some really funny shit in it. I'm sorry, I know Xander's not a guy. But
He's not a guy?
No,
I'm
not a MST3K guy. But I like this fucking movie. I'm sorry, I
Of course
thought it was
you do.
I thought it was really cheesy and really fucking funny. I love really bad 90s films just as much as I love bad 80s films. I didn't think the werewolf makeup was terribly bad. I've seen worse. Operation Metal Beast.
It was like a werewolf mask and a gorilla costume.
Yes,
And
it was
then
really
when
cool.
it showed a werewolf, it was like a little hand puppet. And it looked like a little fucking hand puppet.
Yeah, I thought it was neat. I liked it.
No.
I gave this
It
goddamn
was
movie
awful.
I gave this movie more stars than I gave The Reckoning. 3 out of 5.
And no one could say werewolf in this movie. No
Werewolf.
one.
Werewolf.
The werewolf.
Yeah.
It's a whapper.
What did you give it, Miss Magpie?
Like half a one. I usually
What?
like cheesy movies, but this was awful. Like, who was this movie made for? Because I don't
Me?
recall anyone asking for the Joe Estevez werewolf movie. So
It was made for me. I
no
love
hand puppets.
I love the werewolf in the car. I'm sorry. Ah,
Yeah,
guy
that was-
cool.
Hair cheeks. No.
Yes. My name is Ramon. Ah. So, what about you, Mr. Xander Kane?
I can't even give this movie a proper review because every time I would get into it, those dumb shitheads would say something stupid. And I'm like, God damn it! I could not get
I
into
thought it
the
was
movie
funny.
at all. It just made me so fucking mad. This movie deserves better than this stupid MS23K fucking release.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
Yeah, no, I can't. Like I said, I can't even really review the movie because I was just so irritated by this version of it that I don't even know what's going on. But I did give it a 1.5. But I bet if I watched it without MST3K, I'd probably like it more.
There you go. All right, guys. Let's go to our next film. Mona's pick, our last film of the evening, guys. And I'm going to let you take this one away, Mona. In Fabric. Was it 2019?
A24 release.
Yeah.
A24 Studios.
It's from British film director Peter Strickland, known for...
Was that a cat?
Shh, no, it's a werewolf.
A werewolf? Is it a werewolf?
There's a werewolf.
Where is it?
He's at the door. No, kitty. Okay, anyway, this movie's about a single, lonely bank teller lady in her 50s. She's a single mom of a teenage asshole.
I know, right? Fuck this guy.
Mom.
Piece of shit.
Mom. Yeah.
Fucking shit, little shit.
I'll eat the dinner later. Put it in the oven. I'm going for curry at my dad's house. Him and his new bird.
No, the fuck you are not.
Sick and tired of you disrespecting me.
But everybody pretty much treated her like that. It made me angry that she was so passive
Right,
aggressive.
because she was like a nice lady.
I know. She's like getting back into dating, I guess, when her shitty son tells her that their dad has a new girlfriend, or his dad has a new girlfriend. So what does she do? She goes out to buy a new outfit so she can go on a date with someone she found in the newspaper?
I guess, yeah.
Whatever the fuck that's called. The cat distracted me.
I don't think that's what it's called, but...
But it was strange. It was like Suspiria at a department store. It was kind of like... I don't know, it was like... I don't know, what do you think?
It was a cursed dress.
Yeah, it's a cursed dress, and like, it, it brings great
But there was
mystery.
more to it.
Yeah, because it doesn't technically, like, possess people.
Just
it
brings them
kinda-
bad luck.
Yeah, it's kind of just bad luck.
It was like an anti-consumerist satire horror comedy.
Yeah, I guess. I'm trying to remember how many times I laughed.
With shitty people.
Well, like I said, yeah, when it gets on... So the dress actually goes through, like, several people wearing it, so it was almost, like, I almost thought for a minute it was going to be, like, more anthology, like, oh, we're going to watch this dress go through, multiple people, because everybody gets it, something bad happens. And
Yeah, so did I.
They try to return it, but it doesn't really take that kind of route. Yes, you're following the story of the dress. Then, like, weird shit happens, like, later... some guy and his shitty friends go to a bachelor party and they make him wear the dress and he gets drunk and pukes himself stupid. Yeah. And then his wife wears a dress and everybody wears a fucking dress and bad shit happens.
He was the, washing machine repair guy?
Yeah.
He reminded me of the energy vampire in What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah. Who farts on everything.
He just told the same story and over and over, and like to hypnotize people, and they were so bored. Yeah, those parts were funny.
But yeah, like, I love the music in this. It definitely, like, screams, like you said, Goblin score, for sure, with its high pitch. It does a good job of, like, I mean, it's incredibly well shot. The music is great. It's well shot. It starts off interesting, at least to me, and then it kind of loses me, and then it picked back up again when the guy wore the dress and all that part of his story kind of started developing. So I don't know, it's a weird one.
Yeah, well, I guess the director used to be a salesman, so his message for this movie was about the dangers of good salesmanship and the gullibility of humans to purchase whatever it is that they think is going to fill their hole with a W.
Yeah.
It was like a sheet ghost, but a dress.
Yeah, I think I was texting with her and Mona and saying this was like Mannequin 3, the evil mannequin.
Yeah, there's some weird ass like mannequin scenes, sex scenes in this.
Mannequin
I thought that was weird.
Yeah,
a mannequin with a bush. Yeah.
And then mannequin.
Yeah, meets Christine. I guess.
Yeah, there's some witchery going on in that department.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the dress was just cursed, and I don't know, like, it doesn't really explain what the witchery is.
Well, it's just said that the woman died in it is really all that we get.
Yeah, but there was some, like, nefarious people from the fucking apartment store that it was like, okay, kind of weird, but interesting. what's their fucking end game, and
You
you
still
know,
never really find out.
right? Never really fucking find out. But yeah, it's just like it's kind of an anthology movie, but it just kind of follows the story of this fucking dress. But I don't know. It was somewhat decent, but weird and fucking. I don't know, a little too artsy for me.
Yeah.
Oh, and it had what's her name? Gwendolyn.
Yeah,
Brienne of Tarth.
Great Game of Thrones chick, who's an asshole in this movie. She was just
Everyone
an asshole.
was an asshole.
Yeah,
Except for the main lady.
Except for the main lady. I liked her.
The first one.
I
Yeah.
liked her. But yeah, for me, it's just an artsy fucking. It's just an art piece, and I don't know if you're into art house films. And sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. But I just wasn't. I don't know. This one was like okay. It was decent. Little too long. Little too long. I gave this one a 2 out of 5.
Well.
I'm giving it a 3 because even though it was artsy and it was like, what the fuck? Is this supposed to be funny? That was funny. I was confused, but it intrigued me. I kept watching it, so
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, I agree with Mona. I think I gave it a 3. It was, I mean, just from the technical aspects of it and the music alone, 2.5 was pretty much going to be the bare minimum I would give it. But I don't know how I set with it. Truthfully, at the end of the day, I think I need another viewing of it to really give it a fair, a fair shake, because I feel like I was watching it and I was just kind of inside my own head, not paying attention. Like just
Were
being
you
puzzled
drunk
about things. I was
when
not.
you watched these movies too?
Not this one. But yeah, 3 out of 5 for me. I think it's yeah. If you liked A24 stuff, I think you'd probably like it. I don't think it's one of their better releases, but I think it's definitely worth checking out just because it's different.
Well, all right, guys, that's our 4.3 episode wrapped up. Go check these movies out if you will, if you dare, if you want to. Next episode, we're going to review our final 7 for the month of Halloween. And we're going to definitely dive deep into the last movie of the month, which will be Halloween Kills. So this will be a fun review. And
you sound all bored and sad after that last review.
We're just drunk and tired.
Have another.
Yeah, we're just drunk and tired, and I'm tired too. So, but yeah, guys, thanks for joining Cemetery Gates podcast. We'll see you on the flip, Miss Mona. Thank you for joining us again.
Yeah,
I hope you're powering through this, and I hope you're having fun this month with these movies.
Yeah, I found a new favorite movie with Apostle.
Yeah, and you liked Outcast too.
I loved Outcast.
So yeah, good shit. I don't even know what we're doing the next one. I have a feeling it's not going to be so good.
Oh no! Don't curse us. The curse.
Don't curse us. All right, guys. We'll see you on the flip. Good night.
Good day. Thanks for coming to our show. See you next week.
Good night and good luck.
You've been listening to the Cemetery Gates podcast, featuring Android Virus and Xander Kane. Follow us on Twitter @AndroidVirus, @Xander_Kane, and @CemeteryGates66.